Welcome to a special episode of the Broadway.com show, a celebration of the 2018 Tony Awards. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens. We're looking at Broadway's biggest night, from wizards to angels to goats, and yes, winners.
And later, we'll take a close look at the productions that cleaned up on Tony night. But first, let's get started with the news. What's the Tony buzz, Beth?
The band's visit dominated the 2018 Tony Awards, winning a whopping 10 trophies, including Best Musical, Best Original Score for David Yazbek, Best Book for Itamar Moses, Best Direction for David Cromer, and acting wins for stars Tony Shalhoub, Katrina Lenk, and Ariel Stachel.
I am part of a cast of actors who never believed that they'd be able to portray their own races, and we are doing that. And not only that, we're getting messages from kids all over the Middle East thanking us and telling us how transformative our representation is for them.
All the love for The Intimate Tuner didn't leave much to give out to the season's other nominated musicals. Frozen and Mean Girls didn't win any trophies. With 12 nods, Mean Girls goes down in history as the most nominated show to walk home empty-handed. And SpongeBob SquarePants took home just one of its 12 nominations, with David Zinn winning for his imaginative scenic design.
So, unfortunately, not the best day ever in Bikini Bottom.
But David Zinn did have the most bling ever on the red carpet.
Well, that's something. The Play's The Thing and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child left Tony voters spellbound. The Wizarding World two-parter made magic at the Tony Awards with 6 wins, including Best Play, Best Direction, and Design wins for the show's sets, costumes, lighting, and sound. Other big play wins from the evening included Angels in America for Best Play Revival. Andrew Garfield and Nathan Lane both went home with trophies for their searing performances in Tony Kushner's masterwork. Towering talent Glenda Jackson also garnered her first Tony for her powerful performance in 3 Tall Women. And Laurie Metcalf, a winner last year for A Doll's House Part 2, earned her second award for Best Featured Actress in a Play for her own performance in the Edward Albee revival.
Oh, a pretty thing like you. Put in a thing or two, and whatever you need, Mama will provide.
A goat on the red carpet wasn't the biggest surprise Once on This Island had in store on Tony night. The Michael Arden-helmed production, voted Broadway.com's Best Show of 2017, garnered the award for Best Musical Revival. The vibrant production of Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty's 1990 musical about a peasant girl pining for love on a tropical island beat out fellow nominees Carousel and My Fair Lady, which respectively garnered 11 and 10 nominations. It certainly seems the Tony gods heard the prayers of the Once on This Island producers.
Wait, there was a goat on the red carpet at Radio City?
Yes, and I think it left a present.
Ew.
So this is for the people who lose, 'cause both of us have been in your shoes. Ooh, this one's for the loser inside of you.
Broadway buds Sarah Bareilles and Josh Groban were co-hosts with the most at the 72nd Annual Tony Awards. The Tony nominees and self-proclaimed theater geeks tapped into the child in all of us, singing about dreamers and showing off photos of themselves and the stars in roles from childhood. With 3 original song performances, 7 costume changes, including gold jumpsuits, and rocking each other's costumes from their respective Broadway debut shows, and some pure Broadway magic, the pair did an A+ job emceeing the ceremony. And fans across the country tuned in. In fact, the CBS Tony broadcast saw a slight ratings bump, with a 2.1% increase in viewership from last year's awards.
Here's another possible reason for a ratings bump. Presenter Robert De Niro made headlines by raising his fists in the air and dropping a couple of F-bombs about the president. Yes, 2 F-bombs. The moment was bleeped on the telecast, but it did earn a sustained ovation from the crowd in attendance. De Niro went on to praise Bruce Springsteen, whom he was introducing, and urged viewers to rock the vote. That political sentiment was echoed by Angels in America playwright Tony Kushner, who reminded audiences the dates for upcoming elections. Meanwhile, Angels in America star Andrew Garfield, who won the Best Actor trophy, eloquently dedicated his award to the LGBTQ community and then referred to the Supreme Court's controversial decision on a case involving a same-sex wedding cake by saying,
"We are all sacred and we all belong, so let's just bake a cake for everyone who wants a cake to be baked."
Sure, the 2018 Tony Awards were filled with stunning performances from the big hits of the Broadway season, but a group of high schoolers stole the show. After drama teacher Melody Hirschfeld was honored with the Carnegie Mellon Excellence in Theater Education Tony, members of her Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Drama Club, the same students that Hirschfeld shielded from the horrific February 14th shooting at the Parkland, Florida school, took to the stage. In what was ranked the top performance of the night by Broadway.com readers, they delivered the timeless Rent anthem, Seasons of Love, and got the crowd of theater pros on their feet. Bravo to the entire troupe, and a special shout out to soloist Callie Cloherty, who sang that high note like a true Broadway diva.
Measure your life in love.
When we come back, we congratulate Lindsay Mendez and more on their brand new Tony Awards.
The funniest musical in forever has just opened on Broadway.
I know, I'm telling everyone.
Time Out gives Mean Girls 4 stars.
Nailed it.
This show is a marvel.
Really? He just said so. Don't be thirsty.
Mean Girls.
Wow.
Get tickets now.
I forget what we're talking about.
I'm Josh Groban.
And I'm Sarah Bareilles.
And you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Lindsay Mendez has had an incredible Broadway rise in the past decade, taking her from a frisky Jan singing about mooning in Grease in 2007 to the stage of Radio City Music Hall to accept her 2018 Tony Award for playing Carrie Pipperidge in Carousel. Along the way, she sang backup as a Maninette for Sherry Renee Scott, praised Jesus in Godspell, broke hearts in Off-Broadway's Dogfight, and won 2 Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards for playing Elphaba in Wicked and starring in last season's Significant Other. Of course, she's also one of the most popular Broadway.com bloggers ever for her backstage at Wicked vlog, Fly Girl, and her current Carousel chronicle, The Carrie Diaries. Needless to say, we were thrilled to see Mendez take the prize, and so were you, as readers voted her emotional speech as the favorite of the night. We got to congratulate her in person just moments after she had her big Tony moment.
I just want to say, when I moved to New York, I was told to change my last name from Mendez to Matthews or I wouldn't work. And I just want to say how proud I am to be a part of a community that celebrates diversity and individuality.
I felt so much love in that space, and it was amazing, that like warm feeling that came over me when I got up there, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this whole community.
To all of you artists out there, just be your true self and the world will take note. Thank you so much.
Mendez's message of embracing individuality is something she truly believes in and wants to spread.
Well, I mentor a lot of actors, and I know how hard it is to come here and, you know, want to be whatever anyone else wants you to be because you want to work. And I constantly tell my students, like, make yourself the best you that you are, but bring that to the room, and people will see that and they'll want to work with you. And I feel like I've tried to always do that, and this just feels like a really great reminder to keep on that journey. And so I hope that young artists are watching and want to pursue this and really, you know, take that with them.
So, how will winning a Tony change her life?
Well, I am no longer gonna walk. People have to carry me everywhere I go now. So, hope my husband's ready, because the soles of my feet cannot touch the ground.
Angels in America, which took home 3 Tony Awards, including the trophy for Best Revival of a Play, is a sprawling epic that touches on everything from the purpose of humanity to Reaganism, McCarthyism, immigration, religion, AIDS, and so much more. 25 years after tapping into the zeitgeist of the late 80s and early 90s, the 2-part masterpiece is back as a must-see blockbuster that again feels like it is the cultural event of the moment. On Tony Night, playwright Tony Kushner elaborated on why his great work continues to move audiences, especially in New York City.
I think that the play has survived in part because a lot of young people keep discovering it, but it's important to remember, it's important not to forget the past so that we're not condemned to repeat it. And it's wonderful that the play can still speak to successive generations. I'm very proud of that. I think the play is about the whole country and hopefully about things more than the whole country, but it's also very much about this astonishing city, which I just can't imagine living anywhere else. So I really wanted the production to come back to New York, and I'm really glad that it did.
Producers Tim Levy and Jordan Roth express the effect Angels in America has on rallying audiences to get political and take action.
One of the things I love most about it is that last moment in the show is a call to action for us all to be citizens and stand up and fight for what we believe in. And I think that's that's more important now than it has ever been.
There are times when I think it's fine to talk about personal stuff, but there are times when there's a real danger threatening, your community, your country, your world.
Tony Kushner is one walking genius call to action.
Yes.
Hearing him do anything makes me want to stand up and say yes, and what can I do? And that's why there's nobody like him.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child won 6 Tony Awards. The 2-part play checks in with Harry, Hermione and Ron as adults. Producer Sonia Friedman chatted with us just moments after Cursed Child took home the Tony for Best Play and explained her gratitude to Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, aka Jo, for entrusting her, playwright Jack Thorne and director John Tiffany with bringing the world of Harry Potter to the stage.
We approached Jo, had no idea if there was going to be a glimmer of hope of her responding to the idea of a play. She'd had her novels and she'd had her movies. Why do a play? We tapped into something. She was ready for the 8th story to be told. Where would Harry be 19 years later? What would he be like? And I think once we pricked that idea with her, pricked her imagination, she understood that there really could be an 8th story. God bless her. She let us have a go.
The Harry Potter team revealed just how much the Tony Awards and working on this show means to them.
This is a show where you see a lot of people running around holding wands. And the thing I love about it is that those actors are truly special individuals and they're running around with wands and they're just full of truth. I hope that the truth expressed in the play comes across, obviously, because I tried to write it, but that experience of just believing in magic, just believing in the magic that they create for us, I think is an extraordinary thing.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is bringing in a vast Broadway audience. The Cursed Child team explain how much they love that people are pouring in to see the stage show and perhaps experience theatre for the first time.
Theatre is the most amazing form of telling stories, and the reason that is because we can only work because of the audience's imagination and the audience is connecting with us. Everyone in that audience is magic because they make what we do magic, and it kind of breaks my heart every night in such a beautiful way that we've got 60 to 70% of every single audience is first-time theatre goers. That is a great honour for me, and I promised to myself that I wouldn't let them down, and I hopefully haven't.
A critical darling, The Band's Visit was tipped to win Best Musical, and it delivered with 10 awards in total. We caught up with the show's Victoria stars, Katrina Lenk, Tony Shalhoub, and Ariel Stachel, as well as composer David Yazbek, scribe Itamar Moses, and director David Cromer about the show's sweep and what it means for them to share this triumph with their company and audiences.
In The Band's Visit, music gives people hope and makes borders disappear. Although the characters are strangers to each other with great political divides, our show offers a message of unity in a world that more and more seems bent on amplifying our differences.
Us being the first Middle Eastern-based, really explicitly based musical on Broadway shows that we're challenging things and we're trying to show people, and we're trying to put a reflective mirror on society and show people things that they may or may not know that exist.
So proud to be included with this ensemble. There's so much talent in this group. It's inspiring.
Everyone's stories matter, and there's room for everyone's stories, and everyone wants them, and the more the merrier.
It's such a breathing thing. I've been in theater since I was 10, and I have never gotten bored with it.
If you're watching the Tonys, you probably have some affection for live theater, and that's great because there's something about being in a room with other people and live people on the stage. This is true for live music as well. That's connective and unifying, and I think we need that.
Dark and thrilling, strange and sweet, Cleopatra and the handsome thief, and they floated in on a jasmine wind, Kulthum and Omar Sharif.
With its remote Israeli setting and quirky characters, The Band's Visit is not your typical razzle-dazzle Broadway musical.
The whole thing was begun by our commercial producer, Oren Wolf. It was Oren's baby from the beginning. He hired us, he had the vision, and what it meant was that the idiosyncratic, sort of strange, personal, specific tone of the movie that we were trying to translate to the stage was protected from the top.
Everyone that's involved in the show is really wonderful and generous, and I'm so proud that we've been recognized in this way. Our little ragtag group is not so bad.
When we come back, the 2018 Tony winners show off their new trophies.
Go ahead, throw your rocks at me.
Baking a pie is easy, if you know how.
I'm still standing.
If only life were as easy as pie. Waitress is a hit, raised the New York Times, with songs by Grammy-nominated artist Sarah Bareilles, an uplifting celebration of love and laughter. Sugar, butter, flour.
I'm Tony Shalhoub, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching this Tony-centric edition of the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with some of this year's winners taking their new awards for a spin.
See you next week.